Hi everyone, this is Arcadius and welcome back to Naval. Today we'll be going over the first of two new event ships, this one being West Virginia, or as I've renamed it, Maryland, since I already have a West Virginia, that being the sister ship of Colorado. Now, out of the two event ships, this is going to be the one that you're probably going to want to get, because this one has all the advantages and is actually pretty decent in game, whereas Trafalgar looks to be just a normal destroyer with no fancy perks at all. But let's just take a look at her because I don't have Trafalgar yet. I will probably get her on Wednesday though. Alright, so what does Maryland bring to the table as a tier 7 versus a tier 6.5 for Colorado? Alright, honestly, the ship is actually pretty decent. She has a lot of good attributes. So let's start with her base stats. We have 59,900 health. We have 34% torpedo resistance, which isn't too shabby. We have up to a maximum of 18 inches of armor with about 13 on the belt armor. I haven't really figured out her armor scheme yet. On the first two games I played with her, on the enemy team, the bot Maryland, I was able to pretty much one-shot them in one salvo and get like 4 citadels. And then there's other times where I have a full broadside of her, I shoot, and I only get a few pens. So I haven't really figured that part out. It does look like her citadel is pretty high above the water. So she may have that in her weakness. But besides that, it's not too bad. Guns are 16-inch. We have the same kind of layout as Colorado. She's literally just a modernized Colorado. So if you know Colorado gameplay, it's almost exactly the same, except a little bit better. You have 2 dual turrets in the fore, 2 dual turrets in aft. Like I said, 16-inch guns, pretty good shot velocity damages. One good thing about this ship is that she now has the longest range of any battleship at tier 7 at 22.4 kilometers. And it's actually not terrible. I would think that with the shell arcs that Colorado gets, it'd be hard to hit targets at that range, but it's really not. And the plunging fire you can easily get considerable amounts of damage on enemy battleships at longer ranges. Secondaries shoot out to 5.6 kilometers, which is also pretty far. If you really wanted to, you could go for a secondary build, but I don't really think that is best for her. You do have 4 dual-purpose 5-inch guns, dual turrets on each side. They're not terrible, but like I said, they're mainly best used against destroyers and lightly armored cruisers. Battleships, heavy cruisers, and carriers, to a certain point, are not going to be the best for that. Right now, another good thing about the ship is she also has the strongest AA power at this tier. So you just take a look. I do have her fully maxed out for AA defense. I have the module and the crew skill, so my AA does shoot out to 7.2 kilometers at long range. The damages are kind of mediocre. They look like they're going to be better than they actually are. Most games I don't get more than 20 aircraft shot down, but I haven't really been focused by a carrier yet either, so it's really hard to tell. But you do have the strongest AA, and it's no wonder considering you can see all the AA mounts on the ship. I think I counted them at one point, there's like over 100. So pretty decent looking AA, but it also has a chance of all getting destroyed by high explosive spamming, so keep that in mind. And then, let's see here, we have same speed of 21 knots, so she's not going to go anywhere fast. And then she also has a fighter plane, she carries 3 of them. So all in all, I actually do like this ship. I'm not the biggest fan of Colorado, but this one is not terrible, and she actually looks really, really nice too, in my opinion. So with that, let's toss into a game and see what we can do. Alright, and here we have ourselves a game. We have 4 battleships, 4 cruisers, and 2 destroyers. No carrier, unfortunately. But that's alright. Like I said, her A, even though it does have the highest damages, still doesn't shoot down as many aircraft as you really need it to, because at tier 7 you start seeing some really strong carriers, such as Ranger, and Hiryu, and Aramanche, Graf Zeppelin, Illustrious, Ark Royal. I think that's all of them. But yeah, pretty decent looking AA, but in reality it's not as good as you want it to be. But you do have that 22.4 kilometer range, which really, really does help you. So let's see what we have. We have a Maryland, a Hood, a Nelson, a Brooklyn, a Kitsushima, a Chibayev, a Kitsushima, Udachi, and a Katsuki. Not too bad, alright. The Kitsushimas are just annoying. And then battleships, Hood is actually going to be the hardest one to sink, unless we get a good broadside shot on it. But we'll see. So I do have health buffs and speed buffs applied. The only one that really matters, honestly, is the health buff, because you can only buff 21 knots so much. And let's see, so I don't know what her concealment is, but it seems to be pretty bad for Maryland, because she is always one of the first ships spotted. Now, honestly, I don't really care about concealment values for battleships. I only really focus on that for mainly destroyers, and then somewhat a bit for cruisers and carriers. But let's see. Okay, so we have a Brooklyn coming in from here. Let's see if we can get some punching citadels. Okay. Accuracy is not terrible. I don't have any kind of skill or module equipped for accuracy, so this is pretty much base accuracy, and you're easily able to get a citadel right off the bat. We also have... what's a Trapaya? Let's see what we can do against a Trapaya. Though she is maneuvering a bit. Let's shoot the Maryland here. Maybe we can get some good long-range damage on her. As I close the gap at 22.5 knots. Alright, so let's see. Alright, so we had one pen and one shatter. Not terrible. The Brooklyn's going to go down here. There she goes. Chapayev is going to give us broadside. I'll take advantage of that. Yes, please. And 2 citadels for 27,500 damage. Yep, her turret rotation on Maryland is actually not terrible either. It's not the best, obviously, but still, it's not terrible. So let's see what we can do against this Hood. Hood is kind of giving us a broadside, though she's angling in. Yeah, 3 ricochets, but we already get 1 pen. Not the best. Alright, so I'm not going to shoot Kitsushima because that's just a waste of time. Let's see what we can do against Maryland from the bow. And you also have pretty decent turret angles as well. So this is directly through the nose and get a citadel. So you can kind of see how her armor scheme can somewhat be wonky on fully broadside, or at least enough broadside that I would expect some decent damage. You get 1 pen, 1 shatter, and then fully nose in, you get a citadel. So, like I said, still haven't really figured it out. They might work on it a bit more as well, but honestly I have no complaints. 5 pens through the nose for almost 15,000 damage. At least it's better than the first time I played the ship. The first game I played her, I saw the enemy, Maryland, and I one-shotted her with 4 citadels, and I got really scared about what kind of ship I was in. But she seems to be doing alright. That one actually gave us 4 ricochets, which wasn't bad. So this Hood is pretty close. Though I don't think she's going to last much longer. So we'll just keep shooting Maryland. Now let's focus secondaries on her though. Maybe we can get some good secondary damage. Though it's highly doubtful. You never know. Alright, so let's speed back up again. So we do have 3 battleships here. So we should be able to finish off the Maryland here. It leaves us with the Nelson and the Hood. There we go. Still 4 ricochets though, so pretty decent bow armor as well. Though I was able to get the Citadel, it was more probably as the shell just plunging through the nose at an angle and then hitting the Citadel from the top. For Nelson though, you have weak bow armor, and I can punch through that with 16-inch guns as well. And then let's get into the broadside. I do see the Urachi up here, but it's not like I can really do anything about that right now. Let's focus secondaries on the hood to see what little damage they might be able to do. And let's see if we can get some good citadels. There we go. 26,000 damage. And a fire. Hey, secondaries did something. I don't know how the high explosive works on this ship. Mainly because you really don't need it. 16-inch guns are more than enough to neutralize any kind of armor. But she might be an okay explosive spammer if you really wanted her like that. That was pretty disappointing. Yudachi is still up. Let's actually turn around here. Maybe we can send a couple shots at Yudachi while we turn. Might as well use a heal. Something like that. Maybe. Hey, that'll work. Well, now we're turning the wrong way because Hood's about to go down. Is that our fire still? Nope, it's not. Alright, so we probably should have just kept going to the left, but I was going to try and come around and finish off that Hood, but it looks like he was taken out without me. So let's get our guns back on this side for the Nelson. Though I honestly don't think she's going to last very long either. And that'll just leave us with the Katsuki, which honestly we are not the best ship to deal with a destroyer. Secondaries are okay and the high explosives are okay, but we don't have the speed to chase down anyone. And there goes the Nelson. Alright, so let's switch over to high explosive and put our fighter up to see if we can spot this destroyer. She was over here. There she is. So she's maneuvering a little bit. Let's see what we can do. Okay, that was pretty decent. Use a little bit of a heal. And let's get this kill. Well, we were close. So let's see how we did. We had 189,000 damage, 2 ships sunk, 65 shell hits, 1 aircraft shot down, 5 citadels, 2 fires, 72 secondary hits for 4,600 base XP. 170,000 was in armor piercing, and then 5,000 was in high explosive for 2 shells that I fired at the end. Fires did about 5,000, and then secondary battery actually did over 8,000 damage. So you can kind of see how her secondaries are not terrible, but they're still not what I would see as fit for a secondary build. I mean, you can certainly go for it, and I will extend her secondaries through a crew skill, but maybe not the module. So yeah, she's a pretty decent ship. Like I said, she does have kind of questionable armor at certain angles, but I think that's just how the ship is in general. And that kind of keeps her a little bit balanced. Against carriers, like I said, you will knock down quite a few planes, but you won't knock enough of them down to not have a strike done upon you. So, all in all, she's a really good ship. I still think you should try her out. She has the best range, pretty good guns, best AA, I think the longest secondary range as well. So there's a lot of pluses for this ship, and honestly, she just looks really, really amazing. So with that, I will wrap up today's video. If you like the video, make sure you like and subscribe. And I think it's about time we start going over carriers, which are honestly not my favorite. Do it anyways. So we'll try our luck at Hosho tomorrow. So again, thank you for watching and take care.